Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Accelerator. Brandon here, your Chief Fractional Marketing Officer, whose sole goal is to help you conquer the local market. Got a doozy for you today. I don't know if I'd call it a doozy, but I think it's a pretty good episode I've got put together here. Changing things up a little bit. Got an interview with one of my current clients, Alex Atai from AA Quality Construction, located out in Danville, California. Alex is a home remodeler specializing in wine cellars, kitchens, and bathrooms, plus a plethora of other home contracting services that you may need. Alex is definitely your guy to call up and get the job done, make your home look either brand new or just fix a couple things here and there. I met Alex mid-February of this year. I hit it off really well, took a look at his online presence overall and just gave him a simple overview of what would need to be done to fix it and to start ranking in the local marketplace. And it really wouldn't have taken much for him because he had a very well put together website. He had some social media pages that were done and he was posting to. So it just needed a little bit of a technical shot in the arm, so to speak, to make sure that when people were looking for home remodeling services or bathroom renovations, that Alex's website would show up. And I can say in the past month, there has been quite a bit movement from his marketing funnel, from Google business profile searches. The number of impressions has gone up by over 1,200. He's gotten 21 website visits and 2 phone call leads came in the month of March. And keep in mind, we just got started. Everything kicked off live towards the end of February. These things take time. So I know that may not seem like a lot, but for someone that's had a website for over 10 years and never had a single visitor, and the fact that the last time I spoke with him, he said he Googled contractor near me and his website actually showed up. He was just tickled pink, right? So it takes time when it comes to SEO work. It doesn't happen overnight, but we're seeing a lot of great progress here with his campaign though. Without further ado, we'll let Alex tell his story on how he got started and the advice that he has for you, whether you are a veteran home service business owner or just getting started. I definitely want to listen to what Alex has to say here, and I will catch up with you at the end of the show. So you started in 2004 with bathrooms and just basic remodeling. What got you into the industry itself?
I actually bought a house and I remodeled my own house first. And then basically I went out and I got a job with a window installation company and I was doing window installations with them. Shortly after that, I started heading out on my own, taking bathroom remodeling jobs and then added kitchens later. Then we started doing wine cellars, a lot of custom wine cellars. We've probably done 40 or more wine cellars over the years. Now we're doing, like I said, custom homes, ADU builds, full remodeling services, whole house remodels, and everything in between. Still do a lot of bathroom remodels. We do 30 plus bathrooms a year.
Nice. And so what gave you that entrepreneurial bug that made you want to go out on your own after you did your first one?
I've always had that ever since I was very young. As soon as I moved to the US, I always wanted to work for myself. And I was in IT. I worked for, if you remember, Netscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to work for Netscape, and then America Online bought Netscape, and then Sun Microsystems joined or created a joint alliance with America Online, and I got hired onto that project called iPlanet. And then I became a Solaris systems administrator, did did PC support for Sun Microsystems, and then got Sun Microsystems started to get into trouble. We got laid off, my whole department. And that's when I bought the house, started remodeling it, rented it out. I was single at the time, so I didn't need a big old house. And I just remodeled everything, rented it out. And I really enjoyed working with my hands and not having a boss. So yeah, basically after that, just worked with another general contractor for a little while and then headed out on my own after that.
And along the way, what did you figure out about running your own business, the difficulties and the fun times, so to speak, with running it?
The thing that I like a lot is the client's reaction when they see the project completed, right? They walk in and it's, man, what a night and day improvement from what it was. That's the goal always. So that's the really enjoyable part, is when they finally walk in or they bring in somebody that hasn't seen it. They have an out-of-town parent comment or something like that, and they see it complete and they're all blown away. But as far as difficulties, obviously, a lot of people after 2008 got out of the construction industry, went into something else. So it's a huge shortage here in California to find good employees. So it's hard to recruit. It's hard to find quality people, and it's not hard to find people. People will want to come and work for you. It's hard to find somebody who does quality work. And they're trustworthy, right? Because you got to leave them in a client's home, and most of the time they're not home, and it's a scary thought, right? Because your reputation is on the line. So that's the hard part, is finding those trustworthy people and getting them to stay. Because people like that, they're very few and they're in demand. They can just get a job somewhere else very quickly if they need to or want to. So that's been the hardest. It's been harder to find employees than it's been to find work, because there's a lot of work. Bay Area is a big metropolis. There's a lot of older homes here that need remodeling, but very few really good quality guys to do quality work. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. There's plenty of work and not enough people to do it. So definitely makes it tough.
That's definitely the case. It slowed down a little bit this year, but still there's a lot of work still out there. And unfortunately, this industry has a lot of shady characters. It just does. That's why just the contracting business has such a bad reputation. People, it's like such a cliche. My contractor ripped me off, right? Like it's like one of those things, like, oh, the contractor walked off with the deposit, or these types of things. And it's really unfortunate that this happens, but people don't vet the contractor a lot of times. I've had jobs where the client was like, so you want me to pay you half up front? And I'm like, what? You just met me. Why would you offer to give me 10 grand? We just met. You should never do that. That's how I thought it was supposed to be. And it's scary that people are willing to do that. But I've actually had one of my very good friends that hired a contractor to do a room addition, and it was a big deposit. He gave him like $7,000-8,000. Never saw the guy again. Just never saw him again. Didn't vet the guy. The guy looked good, was friendly enough when he showed up, wrote him a check, never heard from him again. Couldn't get a hold of him. Apparently wasn't even licensed, or I don't know the full details, but there's lots of horror stories, and I'm sure you've heard them.
Yeah. What would be the number one piece of advice you would give to maybe a veteran contractor that's struggling, or even an up and comer that's just getting their feet wet when starting and running their business?
I would say that the only way to differentiate yourself is to do really good quality work, because there's lots of guys that can slap it together. And living in the Bay Area is so expensive that you have to be expensive. You can't work just to barely scrape by. So you have to be able to ask for pretty high prices. And the only way you're going to get work at those prices is if you do like really nice work. So no shortcuts, like whatever has to happen to get the 100% maximum out of a project, you just have to be willing to do that, because there's always a guy that's going to underbid you. There's always a guy willing to do the job for $500 less than you will. And so if you're trying to race to the bottom, you're just in a hamster wheel and doing jobs. Might as well just go get a job from somebody else then, if you're going to do that. So just really best possible quality. That's what I found. That's why I like the AA Quality Construction Company name, because there's always a cheaper contractor. I don't want to race to the bottom. So when people just tell me, hey, so and so gave me an estimate that's so much lower, and I'm not willing to say something bad because I don't know that person. But look at our website, look at our pictures, look at the quality. I'll give you references, read my reviews, and then decide if that person is comparable to me and their reviews are just as good and everything else. And if so, then best of luck. That's just the way it is. There's plenty of work out there, like I said. So I don't have to get every single project, but I want to make sure that the ones I get are going to be a good fit. They're going to be profitable. And that's the other advice that I would give people, is like, hey, don't be scared to turn away some clients. You don't have to get every single job. You have regrets. I've been doing this for 19 years. If I could just go back in 19 years and tell myself not to take 5 jobs that I took total in 19 years, like my experience, my memory of the last 19 years would be so much rosier, right? Because there were some clients that like slipped through the cracks. I didn't realize that our personality was not a good fit. And it just is a struggle when you have somebody like that, where you're going in and every single day it's a fight about something, or it really leaves a bad feeling, and on both sides. So you want to avoid people who you don't click with. You want to get the types of clients that you understand what's expected of you and you think you can deliver and make them happy. That's the only way. The ones that give you a bad feeling, you just have to walk away from those ones.
Gotcha. Great advice. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, what did you think about Alex's story? I can tell you that I did pick up quite a bit of golden nuggets there, especially when it comes to client selection and knowing what jobs to take on. You definitely can't help everybody. So, don't try to. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe for more great quality content from business owners just like you coming onto the Business Growth Accelerator and sharing their expertise and knowledge to help you conquer the local market. And if you would like to be part of an episode, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me directly at brandon@bkxxenterprises.com or shoot me a message on Facebook or DM me on Twitter at BKXX Enterprises. Love to hear from you and love to have you on the show. Thanks again for listening to the Business Growth Accelerator. Here's to your success.